In this wonderful podcast, Norwegian filmmaker Martin Nilsen talks about his Viking heritage and connection with nature. He tells us about the weeks he spends walking solo in the mountains. Martin's connection with nature is profound, as you'll hear.
My name is Martin. I'm 31 years old. Currently living at the top of a mountain called Haukeli, where I work in the reception. Studied filmmaking, worked as a freelance filmmaker for a time. Slowly getting back to that. And a big lover of nature. I guess it's something.
When I came to check in, I immediately noticed the quite stunning tattoo you've got around your neck.
Yeah.
It's very obviously weighted with meaning.
A little bit, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you describe it, please?
The tattoos, the specific one around my neck, that's just a collection of different older Furak runes, which is like pre-Viking age runes. And for me, the meaning it bears for me is just I appreciate the history, how it looks. It looks cool, and I'm a fan of Norse mythology, and it also feels like it connects with me deeply. And it's also a time that was very more nature orientated, so it feels like something more primal that I enjoy. I find it interesting to just think about the ancestors, and personally I find the philosophy from Viking age time or Norse mythology to be more intriguing than modern types of spirituality or religion. So I think that is more that's the best answer I have for the tattoo around my neck.
And in particular, you said that you connect with it.
It's mostly with during that time, nature was you were more part of nature than above nature, in some sense, which is something I find very intriguing and wish it could be like that now, but sadly I feel like it's not that now. And a lot of just the mythology, especially from Norse mythology, comes from more observing the nature, and I'm guessing making stories from what you see in nature. Yeah, also that you were way more part of nature, understood nature probably way better than a random or an average person will do today.
This landscape up here, it's quite magical, isn't it?
It's very nice.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
It has a lot of movement in the air.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, I was up that way today. As we were coming back down, there was definitely something moving around in the air up there.
Yeah.
And I wondered if that was something other people had experienced up there.
What when you say moving in the air, what are you like? Can you explain to me what you think are moving, or
I think it's the thing that you said when just now.
Yeah.
I think it's that deep connection.
Yeah.
Not just with nature, but also with the people that went before.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's something to do with that.
Okay. Yeah. That's very interesting. It could be I'm more I like to think of myself. I'm very materialistic, in a sense, or kind of.
What does that mean?
In the way I picture it, it's perhaps try to be rational. And rationality. I don't believe in how to say more bigger things than, or I find regular things pretty big, and things that we don't know. So when I see the skies moving around and stuff, I find it very beautiful and nice. And I might a lot of philosophers have talked about kind of if you're not religious or spiritual, force yourself to be it, because you probably will, it will enrich or like make more sense in the human experience. And that gives, I kind of try to do that, like force myself, so I can see stuff, like I can use birds as a sign, knowing that I don't believe in it myself, but it gives me pleasure just kind of acting upon it. So yeah, it could be that you saw something special in our nature.
So what was the nature that drew you here?
Specifically here, it's been, I'm very fond of mountains in general. Ironically, I prefer to, now I'm lived in the mountains for almost 4 years. And but I prefer to look up on the mountains from above, not from down under. But what attracted me to working here is just, I love skiing. Very great place to ski, and also I love when I do like smaller expeditions or hikes. I usually walk up to the vidde, as we call it, and I love the nature here, the rawness, how rough it could be, and also that it's not very much vegetation, which I find very interesting. It's just something more rough and cold that I very much like. So I think that's what attracted me to coming here, is being able to just walk out the door and you have a playground you can play on, and weeks to just walk in a direction and explore. And I find it's rougher than being especially in the winter time. It's very rough. It could be in specific months. It could be very rough here, and I enjoy that. Just the raw nature, that it can be very brutal and hard, and that gives you a lot of practice in surviving. So I think, that kind of might be the thing, that it's rougher here than down in the sea level or lowland.
I think perhaps it would be a good idea for us to describe the landscape here.
Yeah.
Because what you're saying is really true.
Yeah. It's above the tree level, so there's no trees around, without like some small trees that manage to survive here, but it's no trees. It's not a lot of it's not that much like the animals that live here is a specific type of animal that can live at a place like this, where there's not that much vegetation or things to live on. So, but the more scenery of this place is, I think, more. How would you describe it? I've gotten so used to it that it's kind of. I don't take it for granted, but it's almost hard to explain because it's so familiar. But it's raw and stony. A lot of stones, a lot of beautiful waters, small lakes. Many people may seem that I may look at it and think that everything looks the same, but for me, I see a lot of variation between the landscape. Yeah, just very beautiful and raw, and you can see how the different climate have changed and sculpt the landscape. A lot of boulders and stuff from the ice age, even some still some glaciers left. And yeah, so I think that would be my best description, which is not the best one.
Oh, no.
People should see it for themselves.
It's ridge after ridge after ridge, isn't it?
It's ridge after ridge after ridge, yeah.
And the ridges are bare, apart from where there's glaciers.
Yeah. It's very, like our fairy tales, has obviously been inspired by the nature, so it looks very we have a Norwegian word called trolsk, which means that it looks like either a place where troll lives or just the physical trolls. So when you look at the boulders and the mountains, it kind of appears like how at least the Scandinavian trolls look like. Yeah, I think that's a good description.
I think so too. Yeah, and the brutality is really significant, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's where the beauty is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's raw and rough, and it changes a lot. It's also very fun to see the changes. We basically just have like two. Like we have winter, and we have a fall. It's not that green, but now it's at this little specific time, like this few months in the summer, it could be a little bit green, like it's now, because it's been very sunny and a little rain. But the scenery changes dramatically when the winter comes. You could, if you didn't see this change happening slowly, it would be almost hard to like recognize that it's the same place, which is also very nice. So you get two different worlds, the same place, which I find nice.
It seems to me that there's a connection between that specific beautiful landscape, that specific raw landscape, and the Viking ideology. Yeah.
Mythology from the Viking Age is obviously inspired from the scenery around. A lot of the different like species of either gods and stuff like that is pictured in a way that it looks like what you find in nature here, like the mountains. And the snake, just a simple snake, is kind of like what they will kind of portray as dragons and stuff. They would simulate what you find in nature here. When I read the sagas and stuff and picture what they describe, I picture stuff that I see in nature here. A lot of mountains. We have a lot of mountains, and a lot of mountains that looks maybe very specific to Norway. So it's some of them are very steep, but that's because we're this far north, you don't need to go very far up before like the tree line is gone, which creates like a unique style of nature. It's beautiful.
Do you think that those surroundings informed the Vikings themselves in terms of their approach to nature and landscape? Because earlier you said that the Viking ideology was more connected with nature.
Yeah, I think for sure it was more connected with nature, just in a sense that they survived on nature and lived way closer to nature, either if it was hunting or farming. And also like spiritually, they, like most primal people, like today's humans, we don't have a lot of knowledge about nature at all. Like we have a lot of collectively knowledge, but like each individual don't know anything about what plant is edible and what not. And obviously the Vikings and stuff had way more knowledge about that and can survive, and needed to survive on stuff that we don't need to survive on today. So I think, they have, and also, nature was a big part of, just a part that I'm pretty sure this is true, that they took like during Yule, which is like what we call Christmas today, Winterfest, they brought trees or some branches and stuff inside because they wanted to even have a little bit of nature inside of their homes. Yeah, I think it goes back to nature being a very big part. Back then, obviously, they cared about nature a lot, and I would assume that they had a way more deeper connection with nature. Yeah, got a deeper connection because of, as I said, hunting, and also their religion was also like very nature orientated. I think just as humans, we have, for the most of the times, we've been living as hunter-gatherers in nature, and our evolution happened in nature. So I think, I'm pretty sure that just being in nature, experiencing nature is very important for us just to see trees and everything is something that, yeah, I don't know, like gives us calmness, and yeah, is important in some way. But why how the Vikings were like specifically were how they looked, like how they felt about nature, I have no idea. But I can picture they're obviously a bigger part of their life than it is for us today.
I didn't know that about you, about them, even though they were in it all the time. I didn't know that. That's amazing. You know?
I have to be honest that I don't know how important nature was for them, but I assume it was quite important, or like it was just they were a bigger part of their life and their mythology and everything. Yeah. But
what I keep coming back to is the fact that you've got you've got Viking tattoos, haven't you?
Yeah, I have it. Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
All I have is
Have you got? Are others Viking tattoos as well?
Yeah, most of them are Viking or Viking inspired at least. But I try to keep them as authentic as possible. But most of them are Viking tattoos, yes, or North mythology or North inspired, you may say. Yeah.
And and then you've ended up in this place, which was the land of the Vikings.
Yeah.
There's something in that.
Yeah. Like, I don't... the reason I personally, like, feel a deep connection to, like, the Viking Age in Norse mythology is that I just find it interesting that my ancestors were from that time period. A lot of things that I still see in the society that I enjoy in Norway today, you can trade back to the Viking Age. Like, specifically, more like equality is very important in Norway, and even back then, like especially like by comparison to like other societies back then, like women had way more rights. I think, and a lot of just how we operate today, how we act. We're very few people spread in a quite big land, which makes the social interaction and shape the way we act socially in an interesting way. And a lot of that knowledge you can find like from Håvamål, which is like a poem collection that was like poems from Odin, where they have like a lot of they have some kind of like tips or like social laws that they that Odin gave the humans, and you can see a lot of them still in Norway today. Now, I'm not a big fan of like organized religion, and when Christianity came to Norway, like I found that some without being a historian, something in my opinion got worse during that period. And I just enjoy the Viking. I think it's a cool time period in general, and we did a lot of cool stuff, exploring, and that's kind of also like something that I enjoy today. That going out on, call it, put myself in a cooler position, call it smaller expeditions, but just going for hikes for many weeks and living in nature and gathering your own food by fishing and stuff like that is, it's something that gives meaning to me and makes sense in the way people lived before.
You go out for weeks and you see no one.
Basically no one. If I'm lucky, I don't see anyone.
Okay.
Depending on where you are. If I have the chance to go, I prefer to go off the trail and just follow like a map, and then the likelihood of meeting other people is smaller. Yeah, I just love going for hikes and being in nature.
So do you do that in this landscape?
Yeah. This is a very good area for just walking for days and weeks without almost without meeting any form of civilization or like. So it's a beautiful way of, which is a beautiful way of just being in the moment. Something very nice about this area, or in the mountains in Norway in general. I find it nice is that there's no phone service or connection, so you don't have any stress of anybody reaching you or any kind of stress at all, which me personally find phones just stressful. So just walking and being outside really makes, I think it's a very nice way of experiencing just nature and maybe more the human experience, how I've kind of want it to be.
When you're talking about the experience when you're on your walks of being in nature,
yeah,
I know it's very difficult, but please can you try to explain that feeling?
The feeling is some kind of calmness. Time gets more. Time does not exist in the same way. You're not reliant on looking at the clock, but you can look at the nature itself, like the sky, and you don't have any stress from. If I usually have a tent with me, so then don't have any stress at all. I can just walk for how long I want in my own thoughts, and just enjoy nature. And you can, you don't have anything else but your own mind and the nature and whatever you're experiencing in between, and it's beautiful and very nice, and it also gives you a lot of self-esteem, just being able to know that you're able to survive on your own. Yeah, it gives you a lot of self-esteem and to just know that you can manage on your own. Yeah.
You're talking about being in nature and managing on your own and thoughts.
Yeah.
And so you're in the wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in the raw wild for hours on end.
Yeah.
What do you do when you're walking along? What do you do?
I think that's a big part of this, is that you don't do anything else than walk. It's kind of like a meditative type of situation. I think it's important in general but you don't have a lot of time in today's world to just process things. Going for walks that 9 hours, 10 hours a day gives you a lot of time to just process things without distractions, and also just it could be physical pain from being tired, which is also nice that it's you push yourself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of hard to explain what's very nice about it, but I think it's just, if I'm gonna be a little bit pretentious, that we humans have been walking and moving for a long time. That's what gotten us here, and specifically to Scandinavia, just been walking and exploring, and it kind of gives you the exploring part of not knowing what's behind the next edge or the next mountaintop. It's very intriguing to not know what's before you, and just seeing new stuff along the way. If you're never not really knowing what comes next, but it's also like hiking in general is a very big part of the Norwegian culture. So if it's something that I'm trained up to enjoying, I don't know. But yeah, I don't really know what gives me such pleasure with doing it. But I think it would give most people pleasure of just walking and in nice sceneries. And you also walk in, like, if you go work in the cities, you kind of walk in a world that is designed by other humans. So you walk and just look at what other people have designed. But when you walk in nature, it's nobody's design. It's kind of like, it is just what it is. It gives you a lot of, I think, more imagination to just look at stuff and create your own view or on what it is. So it feels more authentic being in nature in general. And yeah, it's nice. It's fun. Yeah.
Thank you very much. That's absolutely brilliant.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. Subscribe to Nature Talks with Humans for more true stories of people communicating with animals, birds and landscape. Follow me on Instagram at Estelle_writer44 and TikTok at Estelle Phillips. Bye!